March 18, 2014 began like any other Tuesday at Eastbrook State University in Fenton, Colorado. Students hurried across the quad, bundled against the lingering winter chill. In the athletic department offices, 28-year-old Kyle Manning hunched over his laptop, his face illuminated by the screen's harsh glow as he scrolled through spreadsheets. As a graduate research assistant, Kyle had access to the department's academic records, a position that had gradually shifted from mundane to dangerous. His fingers trembled slightly as he copied another file onto the small black USB drive that never left his possession. He glanced at the office door for the fifth time in as many minutes. "Working late again, Manning?" The voice made Kyle jolt. Coach Damon Rusk filled the doorway, his imposing frame blocking the exit. At 54, Rusk's weathered face and steel-gray crew cut commanded respect, fear, or both. His smile never reached his eyes. "Just finishing up some player eligibility forms," Kyle replied, his voice steady despite the rapid drumming of his heart. He casually minimized his screen. Rusk's gaze lingered on Kyle's laptop. "Don't burn yourself out. Everyone needs balance." He tapped the doorframe twice. "Remember, there's more to life than paperwork." After Rusk's footsteps faded down the hall, Kyle exhaled slowly. He texted his roommate, Jared, "Working out tonight. Late." Then he messaged Ellie Chen, the university newspaper's senior editor, "Found what we discussed. Major proof. Meeting tomorrow?" Her reply came quickly, "Absolutely. Ethics board agreed to hear us at 2 p.m. Kyle tucked the USB drive into his pocket and packed his gym bag. He wasn't planning to work out, but the fieldhouse would be empty this late. A quiet place to organize his thoughts, to prepare what he would say tomorrow. By 9:15 p.m., the campus had settled into evening quiet. Occasional laughter echoed from dorm windows as Kyle walked briskly across the parking lot. The fieldhouse loomed ahead, its glass entrance reflecting the moonlight. Security camera number 37 captured Kyle swiping his ID at 9:27 p.m. at the side entrance. He wore a gray hoodie pulled low, gym bag slung over one shoulder. The grainy footage showed him glancing behind once before entering. Inside, Kyle flicked on the lights in the weight room, tossed his bag behind a row of benches, and pulled out his notes. His hand instinctively checked for the USB drive in his pocket. What Kyle didn't know, camera number 42, which monitored the east exit, had been disabled that morning. Work order #JM1103 cited routine maintenance, authorized by signature that maintenance supervisor Greta Wilson would later claim wasn't hers. At 10:48 p.m., sophomore Tanya Williams was walking back from the library when she thought she saw flashlight beams dancing inside the fieldhouse. By the time campus security responded to her call at 11:12 p.m., the building appeared empty. Officer Dale Jenkins performed a cursory check, finding nothing unusual except a water fountain running in the east corridor. He turned it off and locked up, noting in his log, "All clear, 11:26 p.m. When the janitorial crew unlocked the doors at 6 a.m. the next morning, the lights in the weight room were still on. Kyle's bag sat tucked behind the benches. His phone lay shattered under the water fountain, its screen cracked in a spiderweb pattern. No blood. No signs of struggle. No Kyle Manning. Detective Sarah Reeves arrived at 7:43 a.m., her sedan pulling into the spot reserved for police vehicles. At 42, Reeves had spent 15 years with the Fenton PD, the last 7 in violent crimes. Her short dark hair was streaked with premature gray, her eyes missing nothing as she surveyed the fieldhouse entrance. "Tell me again what security found," she said to Officer Jenkins, who shifted uncomfortably under her gaze. "Just the bag and the phone. Nothing else disturbed." Jenkins pointed to the weight room. His wallet was in the bag. Cards, cash, everything still there. Reeves walked the east corridor slowly, noting the emergency exit. "And this door? Alarmed after hours. No indication it was opened. Camera?" Down for maintenance. Reeves raised an eyebrow. Convenient timing. By noon, the story had spread across campus. Kyle Manning was missing. University administration issued a brief statement calling it concerning, but emphasized no evidence of foul play existed. Reeves interviewed Kyle's roommate Jared Bishop that afternoon. He's been weird lately. Secretive. Jared ran a hand through his disheveled hair. About 2 weeks ago, he came home really rattled. We split a six-pack, and he started talking about finding something seriously illegal in the athletic department. Did he elaborate? Reeves asked, pen poised over her notepad. Something about scholarship money and fake documents for players who shouldn't have been eligible. Said he had it all on his flash drive. Jared's voice dropped. He always had that thing on him. Called it his insurance policy. Insurance against what? He never said exactly. But he mentioned Coach Rusk a few times. Jared hesitated. Look, Rusk is like a god here. State championships, ESPN coverage, NFL draft picks. Nobody crosses him. That evening, Reeves sat in her car outside the athletic department, watching as staff departed. Coach Rusk emerged last, phone pressed to his ear, gesturing emphatically. Reeves noted the time, 8:42 p.m., nearly 12 hours after Kyle was reported missing. The next morning, Reeves requested access to Kyle's academic records and emails. The university council delayed, citing privacy concerns. By the time Reeves returned with a warrant 2 days later, the IT department reported a server malfunction had corrupted some recent files. On March 21, Reeves finally interviewed Coach Rusk in his office, trophy cases gleaming behind him. I barely knew the kid, Rusk said, leaning back in his leather chair. He helped with paperwork, kept the eligibility record straight. Good worker. When did you last see him? Maybe a week ago. These assistant positions rotate frequently. Reeves consulted her notes. Security logs show he was in the athletic department offices until 8:50 p.m. on the night he disappeared. A flicker of something, surprise. Concern, crossed Rusk's face before disappearing. Then I must be mistaken. We don't exactly punch time cards around here. He ever mentioned concerns about player eligibility to you? Rusk laughed, a sharp bark devoid of humor. Look, detective, every semester we have borderline academic cases. It's my job to keep these kids focused on class as well as the field. Nothing nefarious there. And the allegations about forged documents? Ridiculous. Rusk leaned forward. Do you know how much scrutiny our program is under? NCAA compliance officers breathe down our necks. One eligibility mistake could cost us millions. Reeves nodded. Exactly. After Reeves left, Rusk made 3 calls within 20 minutes to University President Richard Harmon, Athletic Director Marcus Jones, and a number with no caller ID that pinged off a tower in South Denver. 6 days after Kyle's disappearance, Ellie Chin approached Detective Reeves outside the campus cafe. Kyle was supposed to meet me and the ethics board the day after he vanished, she said, glancing nervously over her shoulder. He had evidence about 7 football players who shouldn't have been eligible last season. Why would the university risk that? Reeves asked. Because last season took them to the conference championships. TV rights alone were worth millions. Plus recruitment skyrocketed. Ellie pulled out her phone. Kyle sent me this the night he disappeared. The text read, found what we discussed. Major proof. Meeting tomorrow. What proof exactly? He never said specifically. But he told me it involved fake tutor logs, changed grades, and money, lots of it, being moved around. When Reeves tried to schedule a follow-up interview with Ellie 2 days later, she learned the student had suddenly transferred to a university in California. Her campus email was already deactivated. The investigation stalled. Campus security footage revealed nothing unusual. Kyle's credit cards remained untouched. His car sat in his apartment complex parking lot. The university began referring to the incident as an unfortunate mystery in press statements. April 1, 2014. Dawn broke cold and gray over Fenton. Mia Donahue, a freshman on the cross-country team, took her usual morning route behind the athletic facilities. As she passed a row of trash barrels, something caught her eye: a partially burned notebook, its edges blackened but its center pages intact. Inside, course schedules with student ID numbers, annotations about fake tutors, and a list of initials next to cash amounts. The last page, slightly singed around the edges, contained a chilling note. "If they find this first, I'm already gone." Mia recognized the handwriting from tutoring session logs. It was Kyle's. Detective Reeves examined the notebook in the evidence room, carefully photographing each page. She found a pattern: 7 student IDs appeared repeatedly, all football players. Next to each, improbable grade improvements were noted: FB+, 2 days, and absent 16 classes full attendance. When she attempted to match the initials with cash amounts to university financial records, she hit a wall of administrative resistance. The university council insisted any further investigation required subpoenas for each specific document. Meanwhile, Coach Rusk held a press conference about spring training, appearing confident and relaxed. When a reporter asked about Kyle Manning's disappearance, he expressed appropriate concern before smoothly pivoting to talk about the upcoming season's prospects. Reeves noted that 2 assistant coaches who had been with the program for years suddenly accepted positions at distant universities within weeks of Kyle's disappearance. Neither returned her calls. By summer, the case had grown cold. Kyle's parents, devastated but determined, established a website dedicated to finding answers. They posted photos, timeline information, and updates on the stalled investigation. The banner read simply, "He did the right thing. Someone else didn't." Fall 2014. Football season began with characteristic fanfare. Eastbrook State ranked in preseason top 20. Alumni donations reached record levels. The stadium underwent a $1 million renovation. Detective Reeves kept coming back to the fieldhouse. Something about the East Corridor bothered her. The maintenance log for the disabled camera showed signs of alteration. The work order signature didn't match other examples from Supervisor Greta Wilson. On a hunch, Reeves requisitioned the complete building layouts from county records. She discovered something odd: the original blueprints showed a small mechanical room off the East Corridor that wasn't visible in the current layout. According to renovation permits from 2008, that space had been sealed during updates. When she returned with a warrant and building inspectors, they found the wall had been recently repaired and repainted. Behind it, an empty room with a utility drain in the center of the concrete floor. Luminol testing revealed faint traces of what might have been blood, but degradation made DNA testing inconclusive. The university issued a statement calling the discovery disturbing but unrelated to any current investigation. Years passed. The case remained officially open but inactive. Detective Reeves retired in 2019, still troubled by the one case she couldn't close. Coach Rusk led Eastbrook to 2 more conference championships. Kyle Manning's name faded from campus memory, becoming just a whispered story among students. Then, January 2020. The Fenton Chronicle's website crashed after publishing a bombshell story. An anonymous source had provided digital evidence showing systematic academic fraud in Eastbrook's football program between 2012 to 2014. The leaked files included spreadsheets tracking payments to academic facilitators, template papers with different student names, fabricated attendance logs, and photos of IDs used by stand-ins for athlete exams. A folder labeled "Fieldhouse Fraud" contained detailed records matching the notes in Kyle's burned notebook. Metadata on the files showed Kyle Manning as the original author. Within hours, NCAA officials announced an investigation. By the end of the week, Coach Rusk had tendered his resignation, citing personal reasons. He sold his house and moved to Scottsdale, Arizona, declining all interview requests through his attorney. University President Harmon announced his early retirement the following month. 3 board members resigned. The athletic director took an indefinite leave of absence. Detective Reeves, now working as a private investigator, received an unmarked envelope at her office. Inside, a key to a storage unit outside Denver. The unit contained one item, a laptop with a cracked case and a note taped to it. "Kyle gave me this for safekeeping. Said if anything happened to him, wait 5 years, then send it to someone who would care. I think that's you. A friend." The laptop's files were encrypted, but a forensic technician found something strange. The device had connected briefly to campus Wi-Fi at 1:13 a.m. on March 19, 2014, nearly 4 hours after Kyle was last seen on security cameras. To this day, Kyle Manning's body has never been found. The laptop's contents became central to ongoing investigations into athletic program fraud that expanded to 3 other universities. The Eastbrook Fieldhouse underwent a complete renovation in 2022. The side entrance Kyle used that night was permanently sealed. The east corridor was reconfigured, the mysterious room behind the wall converted into storage space. Campus security installed a new, state-of-the-art surveillance system with no blind spots. No further maintenance issues have been reported. But custodial staff avoid the building after hours. They claim the motion sensor lights activate unexpectedly, flickering on one by one down the corridor where Kyle disappeared. Maintenance checks reveal no electrical issues. The phenomenon remains unexplained. Kyle's family maintains their website, updated with each new development. They never speak of him in the past tense. The investigation officially remains open. Coach Rusk, living under the Arizona sun, has never been charged with any crime related to Kyle's disappearance, though he was named in 3 civil suits regarding academic fraud. Every March 18, a small group gathers at the sealed side entrance of the fieldhouse, leaving a single flash drive on the concrete. By morning, it's always gone.